So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about my breastfeeding experience so far. I am 2 weeks out from having Hannah, and we are still going strong on the breastfeeding. It's hard on some days because it does still hurt a little bit for her latching on and everything. Just like I said in my labor and delivery story, she latched on immediately after she was born and on my chest, and she's been latching on ever since, just perfect. And we did have a couple latch on problems where she was not, her mouth is so tiny. She was 5'9" at birth, and her mouth is just so little that she was not getting the entire nipple, and I think it's like an inch of the breast that's supposed to go in their mouths. And so I was suffering from cracked nipples and just very sore. About day, I guess it was that Friday after having her, so day 4, day 5, somewhere along in there, my milk started coming in. And with Ella, it was, when my milk came in, it came in at night, and there was a huge puddle of milk all in the bed that night. With her though, she was breastfeeding every 3 hours. She wakes up every 2 to 3 hours and eats. With Ella, it was not like that. So they just became hugely engorged with her. With this one, they became engorged too, and it was very painful. I had no idea what to do, if I should pump, because last time I pumped, and I think I made myself have an oversupply of milk. So I was just like, what am I supposed to do? And then so I called the lactation consultants, and they set me an appointment for that Monday, which was June the 25th, because that was my anniversary actually. So I spent that day in the lactation consultant's office at the hospital. She helped me get her latched on, and she told me to express a little bit of milk out so that she could latch on very well, because I think that was a lot of latch on problems, that was so engorged that she could not get enough of the breast in her mouth. So she set me up with the hospital pump, and out of my left breast I got 4 ounces of milk. It was just so painful. And then when it was finally, when I got all of that out, it was just such relief. I mean, it was immediate relief. So then a couple days after that, I was not experiencing engorgement anymore, and I thought, well, the pumping has probably alleviated this problem. But then I kept getting a little bit engorged, not too bad, but it was a little sore, a little painful. Felt like I just had a huge bruise on both of them. So they had told me to put ice on them, so I iced them in between feedings, and that seemed to help a lot. They also told me to get cabbage leaves, but I never did that. I just did the ice on them, and you can just get regular ice from your freezer and just put them on there. Because I was actually in Target that Friday when I was in so much pain, and I was looking at all kinds of things. I had gotten the Soothies by Lassano, the little they're like jelly pads, and I had put those on my breasts, on my nipples, because they were so cracked and they were so painful. So I put those on there, and they seemed to help a lot. I mean, if I left them out in front of the AC unit or something, they would get really cold, and I'd stick them on my nipples, and they would just immediately relieve them. And I was also using the lanolin stuff too to help with the cracked nipples. So I saw one of my favorite lactation consultants in Target that day when I was looking for something to relieve my sore nipples, because you can only use those Soothie pads for 3 days. So it was just a blessing from God that she was there that day, because she's like, you don't need to buy all this stuff, just because Avent makes an ice pack that goes around your nipple, and it can help a lot too. She said, don't buy any of this stuff. She's like, just come into our office. We can meet with you, and we can help you out with engorgement and latch-on problems and all that. She says, we have all this stuff at the hospital. We'll give it to you for free. We were talking about a nipple shield, because I thought one of my nipples was bigger than the other nipple. However, when they saw the nipples, compared them or whatever, they said no, that everything was fine. I didn't need a nipple shield. So they recommend, with nipple shields, they recommend that you go to lactation consultants for them to fit you and see if you actually really need one. So I was tempted to buy one, but then, I was like, no, I'll just go to a lactation consultant and see what they say. And I'm glad I did, because with nipple shields, they can, they get used to that nipple, and then they don't want to go back to your nipple. And I was just having like the really bad engorgement problems, and so you know, it was, I didn't really want the nipple shield, so I was glad when they told me I didn't need the nipple shield. They gave me some handouts. I also got some information where I could like donate breast milk and that kind of thing. So they really helped me out a lot. I really like going lactation consultants. So this week, this is our second week breastfeeding. My nipples have kind of toughened up, I guess you could say, and now they're not as it's not as painful when she latches on. When she was latching on, it was like it was just a sharp pain that would go through both of my breasts. It was just horrible. It was horrible. But then it would go away after a minute or two. So I knew that I was latching her on correctly, but it was just my sensitive nipples. So also you can put breast milk on them, on the cracked nipples, and that helps too. So I was also putting breast milk on my cracked nipples. They are healed now. I do not have any issues with cracked nipples. They only lasted about a week. So I have not pumped any, like after that I only pumped like maybe one more time. I think I pumped like a total of 3 times, but I've only pumped like an ounce out, and that's it, because I don't want them to overproduce. So I pumped about an ounce out twice, and then I had one pump session at the lactation consultant's office. So I go back to work August the 13th. So I'm thinking that I probably should start thinking about pumping and getting a freezer supply started. My only fear is that we did have a power outage that lasted 3-4 days, and the milk that I had pumped, the 4 ounces, went bad. It thawed, and I did not want to give her a bottle, so we just threw it out. As painful as that was, I threw it out because I did not want her to have a bottle. I could have fed it via syringe, but it was just so much going on those 3 days that I didn't even think about it. So anyways, so I did lose 1 freezer bag of milk. Because the thing about summer is that you can have power outages and lose your whole entire supply of breast milk. So I fear that that's what's going to happen. However, I do need to start my supply of frozen breast milk up so that she can have frozen breast milk when I start back to work. I do plan on continuing to breastfeed her when I go back to work, in the mornings before I go to work, in the afternoons when I come home, and then at night and in the evening. However, you know, many times she's eating. So she should only get probably 2 to 3 bottles a day, really, and then the rest will be directly from me. So I think probably she'll probably get 1 bottle maybe at night if my husband is going to feed her and let me have a break or something, you know. It just really depends. My daughter Ella, she slept through the night at 9 weeks old when she went to daycare. So who knows? She might sleep through the night. However, I'll probably still have to get up and maybe pump them at least once during the night, just because I am just a known overproducer. Hence why I had 4 ounces in one breast when milk came in, and it was a like yellow whitish color. So now my milk has definitely come in. It's white. So anyways, but she was 5'9" at birth. She dropped down to 5'6". With my daughter, she was 6'15" at birth. She dropped down to 6'5" before we left the hospital. So and that's just because she wouldn't eat. With her, she just eats and eats and eats. She is a great eater, and so I'm hoping that she won't be as small as what Ella is, and maybe she will be the bigger baby. Just because we went through so much with Ella, with her weight and being underweight and everything. We just don't want this to happen to this one. We don't plan on doing any tests or anything like that with her if she is going to be petite. So anyways, with that being said, we went to the lactation consultant on Monday, like almost 2 weeks ago now. She was 5'11", and she had come up from her birth weight, which they say that usually that happens at 2 to 3 weeks after they are born. So she's doing really good with her weight gain, and I have no idea how big she is right now, We don't have a baby weigh scale, which I really want one, and I might just have to break down and buy it. It's $60, but I really want one just to see. You can also use them like to tell how much the baby has gotten. You weigh them before you breastfeed and then after you breastfeed, and however many ounces they gain is how much they had. So I'm not sure how accurate that is, but they use that with in the hospital and in doctor's offices, things like that. So anyways, that's about it for a breastfeeding update. If you guys have any questions for me, let me know. So breastfeeding's going really good, a lot better than last time. I'm not having to pump as much as I was last time, which is great. I've got my own little pumper right here. And I just, I feel like I'm gonna go back to work because I don't want my supply to go down. I don't want her to like get nipple confused, but we don't plan on giving her bottles or a pacifier until she's a month old. She has not had any artificial nipples. She does like to suck on things to go to sleep, so she sucks on my pinky finger to go to sleep. So we do not even given her a pacifier yet. It's been tempting, very tempting, let me tell you, on nights when she's like really super fussy and just wants to suck on something. But I give her my pinky and she goes right to sleep. Right now she is co-sleeping with us. Some co-sleeping and some in her bassinet. It just really depends on how her night is going. If she's got really bad gas, then she likes to be right up against me. So I don't really sleep good that night because I'm kind of like an off and on kind of sleep, because I'm terrified of her falling off the bed or a blanket getting up around her nose or something, even though we keep the blankets away from her nose. It's kind of scary, you know. I know a lot of people co-sleep, but it's just a scary thing for me. So if you have any tips on co-sleeping and keeping your baby safe and that kind of thing, just let me know. I know a lot of people on YouTube do co-sleep, and I need to watch some of those videos because I just didn't plan on co-sleeping. I planned on her being in the bassinet, but she just hates the bassinet on some nights. So anyways, thanks for watching.